Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. We got game 2 between White and Baal. It's a best of 3 to see who exits with the overall series victory in the Swiss round. Upper left hand corner we got White. I think I already mentioned that. It feels so. I said White versus Baal. He's the color White. Upper left hand corner Protoss. There we go. Awkwardly said. Maybe not my best start of my commentary ever, but whatever. We're gonna roll with it. Baal's turning up right hand corner is the red Terran. I'm wondering if that build order is really Radeon specific or larger map specific. This is knockout, by the way. If you kind of cut it in half, it's mirrored. You got the minerals that can be mined out that actually opens up things, particularly for harassment. Usually you'll see Terran doing that to allow vultures to scoot up. The really interesting aspect of knockout is this corner, this edge right here, where it's kind of a valley. That makes 3-gate Dragoon, 4-gate Dragoon, things like that a little bit less. Being aggressive against the second expansion in PvP a little bit harder to execute. It also can devastate Hydralisk 973, make that a little bit less successful build order. Then you have high ground mineral only along this corner, and you've got kind of the high ground ramps, which make it somewhat defensible. You have another base here at the 3 o'clock location, or at 3 and 9 o'clock location, where you've got gas. So you can go for the mineral only, which is fairly defensible. This is a little bit far away where you can see it's across these bridges. And these bridge lines also create some awkward situations across the board. I feel like Reavers are actually a little bit stronger on this map just because of the architecture altogether. Observers are very important because of a lot of the high ground to low ground mechanics, and also making sure that your opponent isn't sneaking out to assault you. Both players going for cross map scout once again. Did White? I think White got a look at the direction Baal came from. Baal did not get a good look at the direction White came from. So White going to readjust and get a much more rapid scout. Looks like we are seeing 1 gate into assimilator once again. And knockout, despite, you know, when you look at it on the surface, this doesn't look like it's a gigantic map once again, but it's actually fairly sizable. You can see with the travel distance for the probes. I'm not sure what's with the recent ASL maps wanting to be just huge, absolutely huge. Baal this time opting for Cybernetics Core before Preventative Zealot. Which again, because of the size of these maps, I feel like that's a safer play. Initially, already stole some, so didn't opt to clear the mineral field, but did steal some resources fairly quickly. That was interesting with that probe pull. Also defensive pylon along that gas line. White might have an opportunity to go for some mana pylons if he wants to. In the meantime, no defensive Zealot whatsoever on his side. He's just going to go straight in Dragoon. Baal scooting across. I do want to say heads up to Baal. I feel like White's macro is a bit stronger than Baal's, but Baal, just with the beautiful build order execution on Radeon, I almost wonder if that's a Radeon specific build. This is me showing my lack of PvP knowledge as to whether that's just a straight up build order victory. I feel like on other maps that have shorter rush distances, that would have been less likely to be successful, and White would have had more opportunity to respond. And we're going to draw back. We have a second gateway already. I wonder if White is going to go. I would be a little bit surprised if he opted to go 1 gate or 2 gate robotics again. And I would be even more shocked if White opted to go 3 gate again on this map because of that divot where I don't feel like it's a great map to go. Citadel of a Dune dropping. And White saw it heads up. Is this a bait? Okay, yeah, he's just dropping it to cancel it. And instead going for robotics. Kind of an odd play altogether. Is White going to go for the 3 gate? He's already holding the probe nearby. Is he just going to go robotics himself in the space of this? He's going to go ahead and drop robotics. He's got to know with that probe. That was a little bit too telegraphed, I think, on Baal's part. And you can see Baal trying to play head games in the midst of this. 1 gate Robo. I presume this is going to be Weaver first, followed by Observer, and then into expansion for Baal for more of an economic play. And let's see if this turns into... I think with the distance, it should be fine. Another probe being moved out here for White. He's just wants to get that additional scouting information. That's going to put him slightly economically behind, as he's going to be down that slight probe. And he's just making sure that there's no sort of proxy. Robotics and Observatory drop once again, and it might be similar build order to game 1, although this time we don't have the second gateway along that edge. Baal has paused. Yeah, I think this is going to be identical build order because Baal has once again paused the probe production at 21. And 21 after the 2 Reaver, I think at 21 is about where you're going to max out to be able to just go 3-gate Dragoon. He's getting Dragoon range a little bit more rapidly, and the gateway's a little bit later this time. So there's the second gateway. Is he going to drop the third gateway after the Reaver's actually opening up Observer first once again? And let's see if White dies again, because he's gone effectively the exact same build order in response to this. And he's also just, yeah, wandering out to make sure that nothing crazy is happening. Probe wiped out. Baal recognizes the lack of expansion. He's got to feel great, noting that the build order is probably identical based on everything that's been seen thus far. White is going to know based on just flat timing with the lack of DTs. There's the third gateway. With the lack of DTs, that there's less likely to be an attack out in front here. And keep in mind this, if I will say for Baal's attack in this instance, this valley is going to make it somewhat harder to execute. Do we have a rapid? We don't have a rapid drop of a robotics to follow, and it is going to be, yeah, it's going to be the same build order from Baal to potentially swat down 2-gate robotics. Support bay along the side, and I'll be interested to see if the timing works out identically. 2 observers produced, by the way, from White, playing extra safe just in case of DTs. So it looks like Baal was able to get into his head that direction. So initial might be a repeat of game 1, but different map now. And keep in mind this little valley divot can be a big factor in these engagements, because it allows misfire rates from low ground to high ground. So the pressure attack builds do oftentimes end up being less effective. Looks like White, yeah, he still continued to build probes. He has an initial shuttle this time. It looks like he's going to get a shuttle and Reaver before the Nexus as far as a follow-up, so playing a little bit more defensively. The Observer spots it all, sees the 3-8, sees the 2 shuttles moving. So knows, and it looks like he's going to try to trail that. The Observer, it looks like that was shuttle and Reavers before Observer this time. I actually kind of like that. But as a result, White is going to have a little bit more vision and advantage that direction. The Reaver coming out much more rapidly this time is White not opting for an expansion. Now, White does need to step up a little bit because it's this valley that provides him this the advantage. Instead, it looks like he's sitting back. But Baal coming in at a bad angle. That's exposing the Reavers. Reavers took some nice micro on the Reavers, however, taking some shots. White retreating all the way up to his high ground. The Reaver is going to scoot all the way around. Third gateway has been added in the midst of this. Baal's still with an advantage as far as raw troop count. The Reavers getting engaged on the low ground, so it looks like they're going to get wiped out. The Reaver was also wiped out opposite side. And now we've got 3 Dragoons versus 3. The Reaver was wiped out. White's still defending. Now it is 5 versus 2, but we've got another round and some probes pulling to provide some defense here from White. Nice drill from White, able to get some disruption. He's going to end up, he's got 6 probes to lose here. Another Reaver has been constructed. This is a long distance to travel for the reinforcements from Baal. Reaver gets picked off again before the shuttle able to provide some support. Some good focus fire turnaround here from White. He's still got 3 probes to work with. Has blockaded the low ground. And it looks like he holds, still maintains a 2 probe lead. Let's see if that maintains as these 3 Dragoons make their way up. We got another round. Actually, still need to pull the boys. This is also lost mining time while he's sitting here trying to attack with these probes. Dragoon got wiped out again. We got another 3 Dragoons making their way across. Some additional spawn. Now it's 3-on-1, and it looks like White is held, but he's now down 2 workers. Baal has managed to gain the advantage. Did that Dragoon? The Dragoon just has a sliver of health. So it's going to go ahead and walk up and see what it can get done. The probe's going to go ahead and hunt it. Going to go for the hunt and gets the kill without losing any friends. 3 versus 3, high ground advantage here for White. He is at the close sphere. He also has the observer advantage right this second. Oof, observer getting smacked away a little bit. This is going to be 6 Dragoons. Baal might have another opportunity to push up. So White's going to have to hope that the high ground to low ground provides an advantage, but we do have a Reaver here, and again with the probe so the thing with with Baal's build is because he went for the cut at 21 probes, that means he either that really cuts into the Reaver production in the midst of this. White now making his way down, focus firing at what he can. Has managed to push that back and might get that expansion up faster, potentially. This is razor thin, and I'm not sure if White doesn't know whether he's in a spot where he can expand. Baal potentially could just cut his losses, expand himself. The Observer slightly out of position here for Baal, however. There is some damage on White's Observer, but he hasn't found the Dragoons. I don't think he spotted the Dragoons to the north. White just right this second, wanting to hold his expansion. As that happens, the Reaver actually sneaking out into the main. Does get picked off, but man, it managed to... I missed that. I was not expecting that, and neither was White. Picked off a good grouping of probes, and now White is effectively all in. He might want to wait for that second Reaver and move out and go for the attack himself, and actually Baal might get caught off guard. In the midst of this, he's got the high ground to low ground. It looks like he is pulling back. This isn't turning into a base trade. Baal trying to retreat to his high ground. Interesting with the map pattern, we'll see who gets to his base first. It looks like Baal is going to get there, but White's not that far behind based on overall traversal, and we might have a battle right here. Looks like Baal does manage to get a little bit of high ground advantage. The True Reaver is able to join the fight towards the front. The shuttle taking a pretty big volley right there. And Baal in the retreat does only take a single Reaver shot, but has lost the high ground outside of his expansion. He's certainly not going to be expanding anytime soon. White is in a desperate scenario here, though. He needs to win. Oh, and he lost the shuttle and the two Reavers interior. That's really going to hurt his odds here. But Baal, again, not holding the line. So it's still going to be low ground to low ground, but he's at a closer reinforcement point. He's also got his own Reaver and shuttle, so going to be able to push a lot of this back, and White's opportunities to hold and win this match are starting to diminish. Looks like we have a full retreat. This is effectively turned into 3-gate Dragoon Reaver, but with just the 14 workers to work with, it's White. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he's able to produce what he's able to produce here. You can see now on this cycle, he doesn't have the resources to invest in any of this. You can't go for a full rebuild cycle effectively. Is finally trying to build probes again. Reaver does get taken out with the shuttle on the high ground. This is high ground to low ground. Baal kind of pushing the issue here. And actually taking a pretty bad fight. More Dragoons coming from the south, and Baal trading this away a little bit by being overly aggressive. Moving into his enemy territory. So now it's 6-on-4. White doing a pretty good job focus firing this down. And so he's going to end up with 3 Dragoons versus 1. Baal still has the overall economic lead. And White starting to draw back. Baal now starting, well, he's added a probe. Still hasn't added a lot else, however. Is wandering down to maybe grab his expansion. Baal's kind of missed an opportunity because he was in a position to continually build probes in the space of this. Granted, his production would have been a little bit scarred, but he could have played defensively with the damage he did with the Reaver earlier. Still would have been in a strong spot. Might have underestimated the damage that Reaver shot got off. Might not have seen it. Probe trying to sneak out. Is going to get taken out, but does see a probe coming across. This Observer sees Baal's defensive line. And White going to retreat, or I should say reposition rather than retreat, to mid-ground. Is he still just trying to pump units? Right now, still pumping units. Still sitting on 16 workers, so both players still opting to play low economy game, and this is going to move back to Baal's favor, where he's got the 2 Reavers in the shuttle at close positions. Do we have anything? We got a Reaver slow walking out. It's going to be very, very exposed. Do we have another shuttle being constructed? No. A little bit of distance mining from this probe that drew back. White actually engaging here. Baal in the low ground now. Firing low ground to high. Great shots from those Reavers, however, but one of the Reavers taking some splash. And Baal, again, maybe not recognizing that divot, is not going for a great engagement point. That Reaver has no protection. Any target's a good target right now for Baal. White getting some good value. Now he's in the valley. And that is going to be the entirety of his army. I think that's GG. Yeah. So Baal, again, with the same build order, countering the 2-gate Reaver play, and getting another victory, and is going to take the series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.